Okay, what's up, guys? So TJ here. So we're going to talk about what happened with Lucid Motors. So Lucid Motors absolutely got short squeezed like crazy on suspicion of takeover rumors by the Saudi Arabia PIF, the Public Investment Fund. So we're going to kind of go over what happened so you guys can kind of learn from this in the future. I saw this happening in real time. I kind of made some errors, but I did make some profits. Okay, I did end up buying a call option at around $9.50, expiring next week, and I did sell it, and I made like a $250 profit. But looking back, I really could have made probably over $10, $20, or even $30,000. So we're going to go over what quickly happens. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Okay, so let's go right into seeking alpha. So first, let's start off exactly what took place. So this article, this was published. Okay, so obviously, this was pretty big news. It says Lucid jumps 43% amid Saudi Arabia fund takeover speculation. So on Seeking Alpha, it says Lucid Group soared 43% amid a report that the Saudi Arabia's PIF may be preparing to acquire the remainder of the electric vehicle maker it doesn't already own. So it says there's speculation that the PIF fund is working on a plan to buy the remainder of Lucid, according to a Beta View uncooked alert. The fund may be working with JP Morgan on a possible plan to buy the remainder, though it's not clear when a formal offer will be made. So why would the PIF do this? Well, okay, in November they invested $915 million, and Lucid did an at-the-market offering, okay, to raise capital. So to give you guys kind of a little bit of background on this situation, the PIF actually tried to take Tesla public several years ago at $420. So if you guys remember the infamous tweet that Elon Musk said where he said he was trying to take the company private, that's because the PIF was trying to buy Tesla. So they failed to buy Tesla, so now they're trying to buy Lucid. So right now, according to Yahoo Finance, okay, PIF owns about 60% of the outstanding stock for Lucid Group, and the remaining shares are owned by Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Venrock, etc. And of course, public shareholders just like you and me. So why did the stock soar? So what took place was, okay, obviously Tesla had a really good quarter, last week, okay, earlier in the week, depending on when you guys are watching this. They had record revenue, $22 billion in cash for Q4. They're about to do 1.8 million in deliveries for 2023. They didn't sell any of their Bitcoin. They have a massive Bitcoin stake I believe they have over 10,000 Bitcoin owned. So when Tesla did really well, that kind of lifted the entire EV sector. So we're going to take a look at this chart. We're going to take a look at the 5-minute chart here. First, let's look at the hourly chart so I can explain exactly what took place. So let's go to the 1 day. And as you can see here, you can see that, okay, the market opened, right? It was kind of sluggish, right, for the first, opening hours. And then all of a sudden, if you guys can see that, there was a big volume pump right here. So the volume skyrocketed. It wasn't really high, and then all of a sudden, it went from like a couple hundred shares every minute to all of a sudden 20,000, 90,000 shares. That's when I believe that the squeeze took place, and that's probably when a lot of people started reacting to this news. So when they started reacting to the news, this triggered a short squeeze, okay? Lucid had a super high short interest. I believe the short interest was over 35%, okay? So the shorts obviously had to cover their shares. As you can see here, the stock nearly doubled, okay? It went from basically $9 all the way up to almost 18. Now, there were several halts as well during the day, and this is one of the mistakes that I made personally. If we can kind of go to the 5-minute chart, okay? Let's go to the hourly chart. Okay, so we go here to the hourly chart. Let's see if we can. Okay, so I think you can see it a little bit better actually on the 4-hour chart. So this is the short squeeze. So as you can see here in this chart, this is the 4-hour chart. Not much volume, not much volume. Then all of a sudden there was a massive surge in volume, around 6 million shares. So the volume went from like every 4 hours, like 200,000, 100,000 to 6 million. So that was the actual squeeze. And if we take a look at the year-to-date chart, okay, we bump up to the year-to-date chart, we can see that the volume went absolutely bonkers for Lucid. Okay, so let's take a look at good look at this. We can take the, how about the monthly chart? A good look at this. Explain it. Okay, yeah. So as you can see here, the volume went skyrocketed. This is the 30-minute chart: 300,000, 400,000, 320,000, 1.38 million, and back down to 700,000. Now there were several halts during the day, so this is what crushed the momentum. Okay, obviously when a stock is soaring like this, okay, the Nasdaq, the circuit breakers, you know, they're overwhelmed. Okay, they literally can't handle this much volume. So if we take a look here on the 1-year chart, we can see that the volume was 208 million shares on Friday. Okay, Friday, January 27th. This is up from just 26 million the day before that on Thursday, January 26th. So the circuit breakers couldn't take the volume, and the stock literally went bonkers, guys. So it absolutely soared. If you take here a look at the RSI is super overextended. Okay, right now the RSI is at 78. So according to this, Lucid would definitely be considered overbought. So now what is going to happen? In my experience, this is basically called a supernova chart, where you have a massive run up. Now, there's a lot of support at around, I would say, $12. Okay, the stock, after it tapped out at almost $18, crashed back down here to 12. Now it's kind of settling at $12. So this is interesting. Will the PIF make a bid for Lucid next week? We don't know. Obviously, you know, the company, it would make sense for the company to try to sell the shares at a premium, and I think that's what the market's anticipating. So they're not necessarily thinking the stock is going to be worth $8. Tesla had a strong quarter, so most likely Lucid, Rivian, and some of these other EV companies, when they report, they're going to have a strong quarter as well. As we all know, Tesla kind of leads the pack. So what am I personally doing? I bought a call option in the money at $11.50, expiring on February 3rd, to kind of play the momentum, and I'm still holding my shares. Okay, I'm hoping that if the PIF submits a bid, they're going to submit a bid for a nice premium. I don't want to kind of sell here because I just feel like next week there's going to be some more crazy action. Okay, now the mistake I made is that I completely underestimated how big the squeeze would get. You can really make a lot of money buying some of these cheap calls. Okay, so when you see a stock like this, like soaring on high volume, the volume starts ticking up, you can buy some of these out of the money calls, like right when you saw the volume ticking up at like $10. You could have probably bought some calls out of the money at $13 or $14. These calls were like trading for like 2 to 10 cents per contract, and at the peak we're selling for hundreds of dollars. Now you would have had to get out of these trades, and probably the best way to do that, there were so many halts. You either could have just put out a market order or set up a limit trade. So I was a bit conservative buying them in the money, but in the future, if I see this type of pattern, this supernova pattern, I'm definitely going to be putting some more contracts, try to get at least 10 contracts, where it'll let you control around 1,000 shares. So that's about it, guys. I think I've covered most of everything. Now, Lucid will not report their earnings until mid-February. I believe they reported around like February 20th or something like that, 27th, somewhere in there. So basically, we're not going to figure out exactly how well they did. We know they had record deliveries in Q4 2022. So we'll see if the PIF tries to buy the company. Now, I'll tell you something that's very interesting. When the PIF tried to buy Tesla back at $420 per share, this was before both of the stock splits. That, for me, was the inflection point. When the Saudi PIF tried to buy Tesla, that's when I think Tesla really started running, okay? So will something similar happen here? If, obviously, if the Saudi PIF submits a bid, it'll be up to shareholders whether they want to accept the bid or not, or the board of directors, etc. If the PIF isn't able to buy the entire company, maybe Lucid will kind of take a similar path, and that was kind of the catalyst that helped Tesla basically 10x, right during the pandemic, that offer for 20. I believe that happened in like 2019. So we'll see what happens with Lucid stock. I'm holding all my shares. Since the big run-up, it's now my largest holding. And I've got a call option at a strike price of $11.50, expiring next week. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, my average cost per share is like $23. Probably should have sold up here, but I was thinking that the company's obviously worth more than $17 per share to me. I think this is easily a $50 to $100 stock. If you guys want to check out some of my previous videos, I have a long-term price target for Lucid in 2025 at $150 per share. So I think selling at 17 is too cheap. That's just my opinion, guys. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoy my content. Please smash the red subscribe button to get more videos from me. And that's till next time, guys. Take care.